From Los Angeles, the home of film and television, this is Film Music Live, a webcast featuring outstanding composers, orchestrators, filmmakers, and more from the world of music for film, television, and video games, talking about their work and answering your questions. Film Music Live is sponsored by the Film Music Network and Film Music Institute. And now the host of Film Music Live, Daniel Schweiger.
Hey everyone, I'm Daniel Schweiger, and welcome to Film Music Live, the show where you get to ask the questions to today's top composers. I'm happy to have you here. A Brazilian composer who blew away the world with his music for playing crime in his country's city of God, Antonio Pinto has gone on to a notable international career, particularly in Hollywood, where he's evocatively played Arms Dealing, The Vengeance of the Rock, A Family Adrift on Streaming, and A Cleric Out for Hitler, among dozens of stylistic soundtracks like Senna, The Host, Amy, and additional intense music for the hitman of Michael Mann's Collateral. Two stars Pinto has crossed paths with on his way are Mel Gibson in the sardonic south-of-the-border crime caper Get the Gringo, and Mark Wahlberg in the redemptive journey of Joe Bell. Now, Pinto's way with musical atmosphere and high tension see him scoring for Mel Gibson in the director's pilot seat, as a deliciously villainous hair-loss Wahlberg is an assassin doing his best to take out a witness midair for flight risk. It's a suspenseful approach for a three-character drama whose acoustical electronic music opens up a confined space into the not-so-friendly skies, which is to say nothing of the poetically transfixing doom that Pinto gives to the morally and toxically polluted future shock of 2073. Filmmaker Asif Kapadia's innovatively pessimistic combination of fiction and documentary that powerfully captures a dystopia that's just arrived. It's a requiem unlike any other in Pinto's often tone poem career for a composer who's just as breathlessly able with high concept escapism. And now here's a musician who knows how to fly an airplane with the full head of hair while telling us it's the end of the world as we know it. Antonio Pinto, welcome to Film Music Live.
Hello, man. How are you? Hello, everybody. Nice.
It's just great having you here again. I've admired your music for many, many years. And I just want to give a shout out. You could say that action really did put you on the Hollywood map, even though you and Alberto Iglesias are like essentially the two Latin American-based composers who really made the Hollywood breakthrough. 2005, he had The Constant Gardener. But I think you actually beat him by a year because you had done additional music on Collateral. What was that experience like? How did you get that?
Well, that was an amazing experience. I was in Brazil, and I had the chance to come to LA and to experiment Hollywood twice before that. Once was with a film called Central Station by Walter Salles, who actually now is running for Best Film again with this amazing film called We Still Here, and with City of God. I came with Central Station to LA, and I was very young. I was 29 years old, and I didn't have I didn't believe that I was going to become a composer in LA or in Hollywood. I just came because I had the chance to come because the film was here, and I met a lot of people. I had some meetings on some agencies, but it was all so far away from me that I was okay just to hang around and watch the things happening. But then when I did City of God, something funny happened. The film was nominated for the Oscars, and I wanted to come and accompany the film and to see and to go to the parties and to go to the Oscar and things like that. And 1 week before I came, I received a phone call from this guy called Bryce Gaeta, and he says, "Hi, man. I'm an agent. I'm in LA, and I want to represent you." And I don't know why. I thought it sounded like a kind of a lie or something. It sounded fake for me. But I gave him a chance, and I said, okay, I'm by coincidence I'm going to LA in 2 weeks for the Oscars for City of God, and we can meet. And he said, okay, so I'm gonna fix you with some meetings, and I'm gonna go introduce you to some people. So I got to LA. I went to the Roosevelt Hotel. There he was. He was like this young Italian guy with a beautiful suit. And he said, "Come on, let's go. We have a meeting right now." I said, "Okay, let me take a shower." I took a shower. I came down, and then we met. We went to on a car, and he took me to this small building. I don't know. It was very close to Guitar Center. I don't remember, La Cienega or something. And we went to this office. I went in. He introduced me to this guy, and this guy, I mean, I call it was Michael Mann. And I was so ignorant at the time that I didn't even know who Michael Mann was, for you to understand how fucked up this was. And and he said, "Oh, this is Michael. He loves your work. He wants you to collaborate on the film." And I said, "Oh, nice. Okay." So and then Michael said, "Oh, come here. Let me show you some pieces of the film." And when he hit play, there was huge on the screening. It was Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx. I said, "Oh my God, what? I can't believe that." And suddenly, I go back to Brazil. Then 2 months later, I received a call, and my agent says, "Look, you got to fly here tomorrow." I said, "Tomorrow?" "Yeah." I said, "But I just had a baby." He said, "Okay, I don't care. You want to come and I have a job for you." So I fly here. They put me on the double tree in Santa Monica. They fixed me. They built a whole studio in the room for me with everything I asked them for. And they wanted me to write three cues, and then three cues became 10 cues, 10 cues became 15 cues, and I did more than 40-50% of the film. I did the film with, and it was me and James Newton Howard. And it was so crazy because James Newton Howard didn't even know that I was doing it. And he just learned that on the stage. And he was cool to me. He's a very nice gentleman. He treated me really well. And it was an amazing experience. So suddenly I was there doing a film with Tom Cruise, my first experience there.
Well, and again, it's really a classic action film with how wonderfully both your and James's music mesh together. You know, it really feels like part of a whole. But jumping ahead to Flight Risk, we've got our first question from Jake Wright here. What was it like working with Mel Gibson, and did you get to meet Mark Wahlberg in the process of making the score for the film?
Well, working with Mel was amazing. I had the chance to work with him once before on a film called Get the Gringo, that he was the leading actor, but he was really involved in the process. So I met him. I think Mel is a very, very talented person, a very smart guy, a very funny guy, very, very funny. Is a very cool person, and he really knows what he's doing. He it's also the working process is very smooth, and because he knows what he wants, and we can talk. We can talk about the concept. Once we got to the concept, the things are very fluid. So it was really, really nice to work with him. Mr. Mark Wahlberg. Unfortunately, I didn't meet him. I also worked in another movie with him not long ago, a movie called Joe Bell, with produced by Cary Fukunaga. Very beautiful film, very beautiful film, very sensitive and beautiful film. And I wish I meet him because I'm a huge fan of his work. And so yeah, that's that's it.
Yeah. What's really fun is that Flight Plan is very much a comedy. It's although it definitely has serious stuff in it. It's definitely very different from the kind of heavy duty movies that Mel is famous for directing, and this is a lot of
Yeah,
fun. But your score essentially is the straight person. You're the straight man in the movie, and that brings us to question 2 from Petri. In the film, characters are not what they seem to be. Did you approach that psychological dilemma through your music somehow with instruments or musical notes?
yeah. The idea was to exactly what, as you said, the film can be, you can be, you can call it a comedy, but like Wahlberg's character is such a psychopath. He's really evil, and and that we didn't want it to have the music pinpoint the funny part of the film, and to keep the crazy guy, the tension, the menace, all the time there. And also we I wanted to have the music not play too loud or too important or too. I wanted to make a music in a way that you could play more with sounds than with notes in a way. So and of course, when I say menace and tension, like to play with the tones, with second minor tones and tension, and not so beautiful, so that you could have this funny, this interesting and guy and things happening, but at the same time to make you feel, to make you afraid, to make you tense, and to not know what's going to happen during the whole film, I think. And I think we were successful by
Oh, yeah. No,
doing that.
it's definitely it's a whole other person on that airplane. And again, a big thanks to our friends at Lakeshore Records for our promo giveaway. So send in your questions to Antonio. And we've got a third one, which on that note from Ivan over at the Bond Music. While Flight Risk score has some really charming orchestral tunes, most are cold electronic ones. How did you find the right balance of orchestral and electronic sounds that kind of mesh that really distinguishes a lot of your scores?
Yeah, well, there's what I do a lot when I do the scores is, as I play the instruments. I play cello, I play saxophone, I play trumpet, I play piano, I play guitar. I'm not saying that I'm not like a genius player, but I play them. I can make them sound. And what I love to do is to put sounds against each other. What do I mean about putting against each other? For example, in Flight Risk, I worked a lot with this guy called Rafael. What's his last name? I'm gonna write it to you. Rafael Cesario. Rafael Cesario, who's a cello player, and he's like a genius cello player. He's like he plays classical music like a genius, but he also plays uh, popular music. He plays jazz. He plays everything. And what I do a lot that I like sometimes is to record him as a small orchestra of cellos. So I record with him, maybe I record 16 times, 16 different voices or 24 voices. And then we after we play the 24 voices, we do some improvisation over the track that we just recorded. And 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 then I'm gonna go play my cello because I'm not a good cello player. I'm not a good no. I'm a good cello player, but I'm not a great cello player. So what I do mostly, I start to find noises, strange sounds, and strange notes, and then I play over it. And then after I record the whole arrangement that I wrote and things, and then I go and manipulate. How do you say that? I work with the sounds and twist the sounds. So the idea here on Flight Risk was to do exactly this. It was to work with Raphael with the cellos, my cellos, some synthesizers. I like to work with analog synthesizers, old Juno 106. I like the Moog and another maybe some of more modern. I have this little guy that I forgot the name of it because I'm getting old, but I will write it down for you guys. And 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 the idea was to do that, to use the cello as a beautiful, sophisticated, lush sound against this my cello and my strange guitar and my synthesizers and my percussion, and put all together to do um, world, I would say, for the film.
Right. Now, Louis Versinelli says he really enjoyed the track Takeoff from the movie Flight Risk. Can you break down that track and talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, I have to listen to. I have to remember. Let me open up here. In 1 second. Take off. Take off. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. So I start with my cello, where you can hear this pad playing, this strange noisy pad playing, and then guitar making the melody with a lot of effect in it. Yeah. Yeah. And then I have a percussion that I do with the cello, with the, how do you call the thing that you use to play the cello?
Oh, bow.
Oh, the bow, yeah. And
Yeah.
then I do the rhythm with the bow playing on the strings on the bottom of the cello. And then piano, the melody. Okay, so this track is interesting because it's all me there. It's me playing the harmony with the cello, you know. So I do the chords, then the guitar, then the piano, and then the percussion with the bow. Chico, eu preciso te ligar daqui a pouco. Estou numa entrevista. Beijo. My son.
Oh, that's awesome. Now I'm gonna just do a jump back for our next question from Aaron Cruz. Obviously, the movie, really a classic that put you really on the map of City of God, and Aaron just says, "I loved Funk de Veranda, your work with Cortez and City of God. Can you tell us how that was composed?"
Okay, so City of God was very, very nice. I really love it. I'm originally the main instrument that I play. I'm a drummer by like the instrument that I really studied hours and hours, hours and hours in my life. I play the piano too, but I'm a piano. I'm a regular piano player. I'm not a jazz or crazy guy. I just know how to play and read and write and things. But the drums and I play, and I'm a good guitar player and a good bass player too. So the music on City of God is it's a delicious. Was a gift for me because I used to work with Fernando Meirelles, the director, a lot because before I was doing film music, which always wanted to do in my life. I was working with advertising, music for advertising, and Fernando is one of the biggest directors in Brazil, and and when he did City of God, I I we had worked a lot, and when I saw the film and read the book and saw the film with him, I had a decision. I had a concept decision on music, uh, and the idea was that the film City of God film, the theme of the film, there's a rhythm in Brazil called samba, which is the father of bossa nova. Samba is the carnival rhythm. It's percussion, and my idea was that the theme of the film was going to be samba from the beginning to the end. So the first part of the film is all it's new life. Everybody's moving out of the favelas and building their houses on City of God. So it's new life. Life is getting better, and so it's traditional old samba, Brazilian samba. The middle of the film, the things starts to get fucked up, and the young guys, start to deal drugs and kill people, blah blah blah. And the funk music came to Brazil from America, funk. So and what happened is that funk started to mix with samba, and then it was funk samba. So from the second part of the film was going to be funk samba. And then at the end of the film, where the things really got fucked up, everything is dark, it's all war, everybody's killing everybody. It's dark samba, low samba, slow samba to make, but everything was made with samba. And so the music you just said, it's a funk samba. And what what I did is uh, before I started to do the film, I got into the studio myself and I started to record a lot of material. So I recorded a lot of funk on the drums, a lot of funk bass lines, a lot of funk guitars playing with the basses. So when the film came to me, I had so much material that it was for me, it was like playing dominoes. I was like, let me play these drums here with this bass and this guitar. So that's how I composed that piece. Uh, specifically. And the other thing is that Ed Curtis, the guy who did the music with me and that I had the studio with, and is a great friend of mine, my brother. He's an amazing saxophone player, and he's a very good horns. He write for horns. He's an amazing arranger. So what I did is all the funks in the film. It's me playing the drums, me playing the bass, me playing the guitar, me playing the percussion, and Ed Curtis arranging and playing with the horns, and that's how that song came about.
Now, jumping back into Flight Plan, Dale would like to know, are you using EBO guitars in Takeoff and Suffocated? And if so, can you talk about that sound and other creative guitar tones that you use throughout your flight risk score?
Yeah, I love EBOs, especially because I love strings, and EBO for me it's a way for me to play strings myself, So, and of course, as we decided to use the guitar as an instrument, an important instrument in the score, I wanted to do the melodies with EBO, and yeah, that's it.
Now, we have to definitely give a shout out to your other film that is coming out, I think maybe in 2 weeks, called 2007-3. And it is the most depressing film I've ever seen. It's kind of like a weird cross between like 12 Monkeys with Samantha Morton in the Bruce Willis part and a real documentary about, what is happening in the world. I mean, you've written a really beautiful elegiac score for this. How did you protect your mental health while working on this film, especially now? I mean, so you didn't want to slit your wrists or something, because man, it is powerfully depressing.
Well, I'm taking very strong depression pills. No. Well, yeah. I mean, I really love Asif. Asif is for me. He's the most talented guy I've ever worked with. So smart and so low profile about it. But and the thing about this film is, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna think about your president, man.
I'm trying not to.
Think about Elon Musk dancing like crazy. I mean, this kind of thing, we're not protected from it. I mean, or we are. I don't know. I mean, if you, I was talking to my wife about the film, and and she was really impressed, but at the same time she knew. I mean, we know that this is happening everywhere. All of this. When I was talking to you about Skid Row, about the guys who live on the streets in Brazil, the favelas, and the far right, the all the wars that are happening, and people doesn't do anything about the wars. People don't care anymore. It's so strange. I remember when I was young, everybody would go and shout, and people will go to to face the law. Now nothing happens. They keep bombing, they keep killing, and they keep whatever. So, and I think that, I don't know if it's a horrible thing. What I try to do is I try to do my best,
Mm-hmm.
which means I try not to fight with people. I try to help as much people as I can as possible. I try to help my kids. I have my wife and my friends and people around my friends, people that I work with me, and because I don't know what kind of power do you have against a totalitarian country with billions of dollars that has cameras, that has all the access to dark web, to military forces. I mean, what can I do?
Well, you can score a
You know what
movie.
can I do? That yeah, exactly. That's what we can do, and I think Asif is amazing to do that. And I hope a lot of people watch this film because it's happening. It's happening everywhere. It's
What was your
crazy.
what was your approach to it though? Because it's really interesting to stylistically where it's half documentary, half science fiction. But musically, how do you approach this kind of hybrid?
Well, the thing is, me and Asif, we have one way to work that has been really working, which is, and it happened since the first film we did, which is Senna, the documentary. Uh, he asked me for a big, beautiful theme. So I give him a big theme that is beautiful. There's dramatic, there's emotional, there's tense, there's hopeful. That has I try to put the biggest range I can on the theme, and after that we we go for the rest of the film. So this is what happened on 2073 too. When you open the film, you had that beautiful. What I wanted to do also is uh, you could approach this with something very heavy, very dark,
Hmm.
very tense, and we didn't want to do that because we, I wanna give you at least a little bit of hope of of not I'm not saying that I scored and you see that the image that you see there and it's, oh, look at how beautiful this is. It's not, but at the same time it's not like you're dead. Forget it. You're dead. So that's the approach. And the other part of it, which is more electronic and it's moving and it's and pacing, that was the idea that we had, a bit tense, but to move from one to another, and then when we needed to remember, we we come with the beautiful theme again, and then move, and then the beautiful theme again.
Yeah.
That was,
It's a very powerful film, and again, really just beautiful, beautiful scoring. I guess jumping back into a lighter film with Flight Plan. The thing that I just love that the one moment is when she is approaching the runway at the ending, and it's kind of like the kind of one real action moment in the score where you
yeah,
kind of play like more traditional action.
yeah, yeah. That's the idea. Totally the idea. I have to say uh, that I worked very closely to the to the editor, and of course I don't remember his name because I'm getting old, and I'm gonna get it here right now. And I have to say that he was absolutely uh, important for the score. He's here. Come on, where are you? And I hate this because I love him.
Trust me, I can't remember anyone's name.
I can't remember.
I'm looking at the same time as you. We're gonna find it.
Please, he's gonna kill me.
I can't even find the editing credit on IMDb here. We're gonna what the heck?
It's not on IMDb.
It isn't. Can you believe this? Okay, what's going on? All right.
Right. And
it is Steve Rosenblum, the great Steve Rosenblum.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Thank you, Dale.
I hate myself. We worked together on Get the Gringo too. He's very, very good, and he was very, very important. He more sometimes more than Mel. He would give me notes, lots of notes. Of course, lots of the notes came from Mel, of course, but he gave me very important notes and very, very. He elevated the score a lot, very much, Stephen. Yeah.
Yeah, I just love it's just I just love Mark Wahlberg's comeuppance in this. It is just so funny. He gets on the ground and then boom. But what's it like? With every one of these kind of suspense movies, you always kind of have the happy ending cue. It's gonna be okay. What's that like for you here, writing the kind of like the one kind of light cue in Flight Risk?
I mean, this is something that it's very important for something that I would give as a lesson to a young composer is that when you start writing for film and you write very amazing pieces and very interesting music and music that you think, especially you think, is very beautiful. And then you get to a person that will listen to it, and this guy who's going to listen to it is doing a movie that he's been writing, and he has everything very clear in his vision, and he will tell you, look, man, oh, it's interesting, but I don't like 2/3 of it. I like just the last part of it. Can you rewrite the first 2/3 of it? And when I was young, I would cry, and I would discuss and talk and try to prove that it was good. And then you once you learn that you are part of an engine that is doing a movie, and you are doing a movie too, and it's very good and it's cool to do that movie, and you are doing the movie with this guy that did with another 500 guys and 500 girls and 500 trans whatever. I mean, you have to detach of this and make the film the best you can with the most love and wanting to do it so much that at the end it's going to be amazing. So when you have to do the last song again, yeah, let's do it, and I will do it for the film, for the story, for Mel, for Mark, for Steven. Sure, I would definitely do it because I love this so much that you have to learn to be a part of something.
Yeah, and Flight Risk, Lakeshore gives you props. This is the #1 movie at the box office.
This is amazing, man. This is amazing. It's amazing. Very cool.
Do you look forward to doing, although you've done a lot of artistic films, do you like just doing like a straight up, fun popcorn action movie?
Please. Of course, man. Sure. Yeah. And I want to do it in a special way, with some pepper on it, some different approach, but at the same time with what it needs. If it needs a big, huge orchestra, very elaborate arrangements, or if it needs just one guitar or a percussion or a funk or a mix of it. Yeah, I'm this. I mean, I love this so much, man. Very much.
Yeah, well, I love what you're doing. I mean, again, as a composer, really at the forefront of Latin American composers making a major impression in Hollywood. What do you think now? Because again, there seem to be quite a few Latin American composers. Again, composers based in Latin America, composers here who are Latin American, doing film scoring. Do you think there's like a resurgence of this?
Look, I know some very, very good composers. I know there's a guy called Marcelo Zarvas, which is I think he's based in New York, and he's writing a lot. There is the guy who did Despicable Me.
Oh, Heitor
Pereira, yeah, who's really good.
And just a ton of really great people.
Yeah, and he's an amazing guitar player too, and of course Santaolalla, which is for me is a genius. Very nice guy. Who else? And I know a few young guys. There's a young guy called Dudu Aram, who's very nice too, very talented. He used to work with me, and he's living in LA now. He's doing a lot of documentaries. He did a few films too. Very good.
What does living and working in Brazil, scoring films internationally, do for you? I mean, does it infuse you with anything to be in Brazil and doing this?
Yeah, well, I was also talking to my wife. I had the chance to live in LA many times. I don't know why I didn't. One of the reasons, I think I have 3 kids. I have a girl, she's 25 now. I have a boy, 20, and another boy, he's 13. And so we also, for some reason, and I have a huge family here. I'm a very family person. My sisters, my fathers, they both died now, but there are lots of cousins, and we are very involved with each other. So I didn't know if I wanted to get out and to take the whole structure and the little family and go there and be far from everybody. So what happened is that first I found a way to work with you guys, with LA, without living there, which is great. I mean, if I need, I go there. If you need me, I go and I stay for 3 months. Perfect. If I have studios that I can work with, musicians that I know there, all the structure that I know, lots of cool musicians, very cool musicians. And I know the same thing in London, and I know the same thing in Mexico. So what I do is I just travel around, which is great for me. And sometimes I go, if I have a project, for example, I'm gonna do a project now called Men on Fire. It's a series. It's produced by the same guy who produced Shogun. Of course, as you already know me, I can't remember the name, but I will find a way, and 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 I will, and I will. They came here, they shot here. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna talk to them. I'm gonna spot the film there. Maybe we can do some part of the score there, and then I come here and I do the score here, and then it's, and I think for some reason, something that I was doing before the pandemic, at at the pandemic, it became something that it's okay. I mean, it's okay for me to do an interview with you. I'm in Brazil, and we are doing this interview.
Well, Antonio, it's wonderful talking to you from Los Angeles, and I just want to thank you so much for joining us at Film Music Live. I want you all to watch Flight Risk in 2073 in theaters with Antonio Pinto's scores on Lakeshore Records. And the big thanks to Kathy Hassan, John Bergen, and Brian McNellis at Lakeshore for our Flight Risk promo, publicist Kurt Nishimura, our producer Dale Turner, and graphic designer Mark Banning. And I'll be seeing you on the next Film Music Live. Thanks, Antonio.
Much love. Send my love to Brian McNellis.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Thank you.